I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Biassiata.
Here.
Director of Law Pignatello.
Here.
Director of Finance Ruick. Councilman at Large Elliott.
Here.
Councilwoman at Large Kelly.
Here.
Councilman at Large Koyu.
Here.
Ward 1 Councilman Curriasis.
Here.
Ward 2 Councilman Martin.
Here.
Ward 3 Councilman Snitsky.
Here.
Ward 4 Councilman Delaquilla.
Here.
Director of Public Service and Properties Johnson.
Here.
Building Commissioner Hoopt.
Here.
Engineer Collins.
Here.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse our Finance Director, Sonia Herwick.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Or, I'm sorry, roll call?
Delaquilla.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Curriasis.
Yes.
Koyu.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
We'll now have the reading and the disposal of the journal for the regular council minutes meeting held on December 26th.
Having read the minutes of the regular meeting held December 26, 2019, I find no errors or omissions, and I therefore move to accept the minutes as submitted.
I second that.
Roll call?
Delaquilla.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Curriasis.
Yes.
Koyu.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Moving on to the consent agenda of January 28th, 2020. If there's no division of the question, I move that we accept the consent agenda for January 28th, 2020.
Second.
Roll call?
Delaquilla.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Curriasis.
Yes.
Koyu.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Moving on to resolution number 2-2020.
Madam President,
Councilman.
thank you. I move that council suspends the rules under the charter and reads resolution number 2, 2020 in its entirety for its first and final reading and declaring an emergency.
Second. Roll call?
Delaquilla.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Curriasis.
Yes.
Koyu.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Resolution number 2, 2020, introduced by Mayor Biassiata and councilpersons Kelly, Elliott, Koyu, Curriasis, Martin, Snitsky, and Delaquilla. A resolution of commendation to Leslie Stager, councilperson at large, City of Seven Hills, Ohio. Whereas Leslie Stager has completed valuable years of service to the City of Seven Hills as councilperson at large for the City of Seven Hills. And whereas council and all elected and appointed officials hereby specifically wish to honor and recognize Leslie Stager for her outstanding service and dedication to our community. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the City of Seven Hills, Ohio, that the appreciation of the mayor, council, and all other elected and appointed officials is hereby extended to Leslie Stager for her sincere dedication and active service to the community and the residents of the City of Seven Hills, Ohio. As councilperson at large, and the best wishes of the official family are herewith extended to her for continued success. That the clerk of council be and she is hereby authorized and directed to forward a certified copy of this resolution to Leslie Stager immediately upon its adoption. That this resolution is hereby determined to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, safety, and welfare of the City of Seven Hills, and for the further reason that same affects the day-to-day business of the municipality. Wherefore this resolution shall take effect and be in force immediately upon its adoption, otherwise at the earliest period allowed by law.
Any comments? I'll start. Councilwoman Stager, it was a privilege to be on council with you. I really enjoyed your passion, your strength. I want to thank you for your service to this council and to our city, and I wish you the best of luck with your passion for acting your enjoyment of teaching, and your love for animals. I wish you nothing but the best.
Councilwoman Stager, it was a pleasure most of the time. I know we didn't agree on everything most of the time, but people don't realize how hard this job is, and for you to step up for 2 years is incredible. A lot of people criticize us, but they're afraid to sit up here, and you did it, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Council Stager, thanks for your service to the community and to the council as well.
Leslie, it was great working with you. I so much enjoyed getting to know you, not only in your professional capacity here on council, but also hopefully as a friend, you and George. I will take forever pleasure in having been the officiating officer at your wedding.
Yeah.
And wish you both many, many years of happiness and joy and shared experiences together. You are both truly assets to our city. I feel to have been blessed to have gotten to know you both, and on behalf of the residents and the tenure that I served as mayor, I just want to express how much we appreciate, as the councilman just indicated, your willing to step forward into the breach, to suffer the slings and arrows that we know we all suffer up here, and still get the job done. You were just wonderful to work with. Thank you so much for working on behalf of our city, and I know we'll remain in touch in the future as well. Thank you.
Dr. Stager?
Yes.
I can't top that, what Councilman Delaquila said, but I thoroughly enjoyed the insights that you brought into this thing, because with your training, you came at things from a different perspective than most of us sitting up here. And one of the things I always value is a council with mixed backgrounds and mixed perspectives, which is why I like 7 council people. And it was great working with you. It really was. Thank you for doing what you did.
Councilwoman, truly was a pleasure to serve with you, and it's, I know the hard work it takes, and you did that, and again, I wish you the best.
Councilwoman Stager, thanks for your hard work and your dedication to the city, and good luck in the future. Thank you.
Any Law Director?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you for your service. It was always a pleasure. You always had a smile on your face and brought some interesting ideas to whatever subject we were talking about. And the city's better off for it. So I wish you nothing but the best in your future.
Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. In previous council meetings, I've said how grateful I am for your service. So I'll be real quick tonight. We have a lot of people here. Take pride in that you stepped up. I know a lot of times, and I want to thank George too, because it impacts the family. You know, particularly in the first year, I know you were subject to a lot of abuse and how that impacts a family, because I've seen it 2 or 3, 4 times in my 4 years, and it's ramping up. And I take it, it's part of the job, and I take solace in how great trajectory that the city's on. But it's hard to tell your family and your father not to worry about it. So I'm sure there's many nights at home George was telling you to hang it up. I'm guessing. But if he hasn't, I thank him too for putting up with it. And you have my gratitude, and I hope the city's gratitude, because you were a part of something that's going to last for 50 years in this city or more. By having the team we had in place on council and Mayor Delaquila at the helm, and everyone having the confidence and the mix we had, like Tom Snitsky just said, it really enabled us to move the ball forward in a way that's never been done before. We're looking at $190 million in new investment, more than likely going to hit the ground or open with the case of Italia this year. And those seeds were all planted in the last council term. So take pride that you were part of something extraordinary, and thank you for your service. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Any further comments? Is there a further motion?
Madam President,
Councilman.
I move that council adopts Resolution Number 2, 2020.
Second.
Roll call?
Delaquila,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Curriasis.
Yes.
Koyu,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Resolution 2-2020 has been adopted. Leslie, if it's okay with you, we'll present the awards after Randy's. We'll do it all together for the picture taking. Thank you.
Assuming Randy gets it.
Okay, we'll now have the first reading of Resolution Number 3-2020.
Madam President,
Councilman,
I move that we suspend the rules under charter and read
point
ordinance.
of order, point of order. We're on resolution.
We're on Resolution B, that was mine.
Tom, go ahead.
That's okay, no problem. Madam President,
Councilman,
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read Resolution 3-2020 by title only for its first and final reading.
second. Roll call?
Delaquila,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Curriasis.
Yes.
Koyu,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Snitsky.
No, I don't think I said.
Snitsky.
Yes, I'm sorry. The former mayor was disturbing me, you know.
Resolution number 3, 2020, introduced by Mayor Biassiata and councilpersons Kelly, Elliott, Koyu, Curriasis, Martin, Snitsky, and Delaquila. A resolution of commendation to Randy Greenwald, Ward 4 Councilman, City of Seven Hills, Ohio. Whereas Randy Greenwald has completed valuable years of service to the City of Seven Hills as Ward 4 Councilman for the City of Seven Hills, and whereas council and all elected and appointed officials hereby specifically wish to honor and recognize Randy Greenwald for his outstanding service and dedication to our community. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Seven Hills, Ohio, that the appreciation of the mayor, council, and all other elected and appointed officials is hereby extended to Randy Greenwald for his sincere dedication and active service to the community and the residents of the City of Seven Hills, Ohio, as Ward 4 Councilman, and the best wishes of the official family are herewith extended to him for continued success. That the Clerk of Council be and she is hereby authorized and directed to forward a certified copy of this resolution to Randy Greenwald immediately upon its adoption. That this resolution is hereby determined to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, safety, and welfare of the City of Seven Hills, and for the further reason that same affects the day-to-day business of the municipality. Wherefore this resolution shall take effect and be in force immediately upon its adoption, otherwise at the earliest period allowed by law.
Any comments?
Madam President,
Councilman?
Randy, I'm going to miss you. It was always refreshing. I always thought of you as the council's attorney, quite honestly. It was always refreshing when you would express your opinions in a way that usually cut through the clutter in a very smooth manner. And I'm going to miss sitting next to you, sir. I've enjoyed your company. I've enjoyed the way you, again, the way you came at a problem. Again, another diverse person on the council. And I wish you a lot of luck in the future, Randy. I know you've got some big plans, and I hope they all work out for you, sir.
Any further comment?
I'll go. I thought we were going to go in order, but I'll take it.
Go ahead.
It was a pleasure working with you, Randy. I kind of agree with the lawyer thing. It was very smooth most of the time. One of the biggest things that I think the city's going to remember you by is the road program that you started, and I hope that we all follow in that and continue it, because it was, I know you put a ton of time into that thing. And have all those streets done in a year was amazing. So I thank you for your service and good luck in the future.
Councilman Greenwald. I will say thank you for, it was a pleasure to serve with you on council, and I want to thank you for serving our city as well. I wish you good luck in your law practice, and whatever your future plans may hold, I wish you well as also. I'm also going to miss your insightfulness
That's the word.
and your ways of expression. So you will be missed. So thank you very much, and good luck to you. Any further comment?
Madam President?
Mayor?
Thank you. Is this your mom and dad here this evening? They are. Well, thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Greenwald, for raising an excellent son. In the heat of the moment, he always was true to himself and true to his city. He's had to endure all the things that Leslie had to endure. I don't know how much in tune to you that are, personal attacks, etc. But you kept yourself professional. On behalf of the city, thank you for that. You too as well are part of something very special that'll live on. Development agreement and other zoning were all signed by you or approved by you. You were here to help with the zoning and promote it and hold ward meetings to inform your ward where the Meyer project's going to happen, the most impacted by things like traffic. And you went out there, you explained to them, and ultimately you passed in that neighborhood as well as the rest of the city by almost 70%. And that future growth is partly, credit of yours, and we'll live along after. And I too wish you best of luck in your future endeavors, and I hope we stay in touch. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mayor.
Madam President?
Oh, Councilman?
Randy? I did not intentionally try and run past you. It's a mistake. But I thank you for your service, like I said to Leslie, for your service to council and community. Thank you.
Councilman Martin?
Thank you, Councilwoman. I'll tell you what, I appreciated serving with you from the standpoint, I don't always listen to Tom, but I did listen to you. Your logic was always listened to. And I listen to everyone around the table, good or bad, but I appreciated the word insight. You broke it down to a constitutional basis most of the time and build it up from there. And I appreciated that logic, and I appreciated the way you used it during the road program situation is to at least give me an understanding of where you're trying to go with it. And so anyway, continue on that way in your life. And this is like an old man speaking now. Continue on that way, and you'll have no troubles. So.
Madam President, Randy, it was nice getting to know you over the last year, even though I wasn't on council, and you giving me some insight into council before I went on with some of our talks we've had. Thanks and good luck in the future.
Councilman?
Randy and Mr. and Mrs. Greenwald, it was my honor to get to know you, your entire family. As someone up here mentioned, I forget who it was, these jobs not only require commitment, devotion, and time from the members who serve, but the families as well. We're not up here on our own without a family behind us, friends, relatives, who many times suffer along with us. Randy, you were instrumental in putting together a lot of the programs that we created in the last couple of years, the projects that are undertaken. You planted and participated in planting many of the seeds that will hopefully grow to fruition in the next few years. You, I'm not trying to make a pun, but you created the roadmap basically for how we should be looking at our road programs. I know you have other plans in your future. I wish you every success, not only personally but also professionally. It was wonderful to get to know you and your family, and look forward to maintaining that relationship for as long as you do decide to remain in the city. Thank you so much.
Director?
Randy, thank you for your service. You always had an interesting take on things and had a way about you being the lawyer to explain things in a way that helps us all understand. I always appreciated you being there to help us through whatever issue we were working on, and I wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors, and good luck.
Any further comments? Okay, do I have a further motion?
Yes, Madam President. I move that we adopt Resolution 3-2020.
Second? Roll call?
Delaquila.
Yes.
Elliott.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Curriasis.
Yes.
Koyu.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Resolution 3-2020 is adopted.
What's that?
Down and get in the pictures. Yeah.
Okay.
We're not public officials.
Come on, teach something.
That 50 cents will get you a cup of coffee. That's a cheap cup of coffee.
That's true. Oh, that's a nice shot.
Will do, and even when I don't. Thanks, sweetie. Absolutely, Carol.
I would say. Right, there you go.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you very much. Oh, we'll be talking.
Yes, please, make sure we do that.
Call me.
And vice versa.
Likewise.
Take care of it. Okay.
You haven't been here long enough to start busting my chops.
He was encouraged.
No more snow.
I've been coming.
Not
up here.
I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's, oh, look at this, home record.
Just throw that anywhere.
More record setting here, huh? Randy, good luck to you.
That's what you get for reading wrong.
Take care, buddy.
Come on, Taylor. Okay.
It's up to you. I was just gonna tease you guys, so.
Oh, I think you could tease. I think you should tease a little bit.
Okay. Thank you.
Good luck,
to
Randy.
you.
Good luck, Randy.
Leslie.
Okay, moving on to our reports of committees. We have Planning, Zoning, and Economic Development.
Yes, Madam President, the Planning, Zoning, Building, and Economic Development Committee met tonight. Reports are already with the clerk. Next meeting is 2/25/20.
Public Works.
There was nothing on the agenda for this evening for Public Works, and the next meeting will be the 11th of February.
Community Services.
Last meeting was January 14th. The minutes are on file with the clerk, and the next meeting is February 11th.
Police and Safety.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam President. Minutes from the last meeting are pending. The next meeting will be held on 2/11.
Parks and Rec.
Madam President, our last meeting was this evening, and the minutes are still pending, and the next meeting will be February 25th.
Rules, Ordinances, and Ethics.
The first meeting of the Rules, Ordinances, and Ethics Committee was this evening. The minutes will be filed with the council clerk when ready. Our next meeting is February 25th.
Finance, Civil Service, and Personnel. The last meeting was January 14th. Minutes are on file. The next meeting will be February 11th, 2020. Mayor, do we have any appointments or confirmations?
Yes, Madam President. If there's no division in the question, I'd ask that council confirm the following appointments to the Charter Review Committee. Robert Roble, Nino Soretti, Martha Whitmer, Judy Urbis, Jerry Finley, Brian Kelly, Nada Fleming, Terry Finnerty, and Larry Lechko.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to confirm the mayor's appointments to the Charter Review Committee.
Second.
Roll call.
Discussion, please. Point of order.
Councilman?
Yeah, I'd like to reiterate my comments I made earlier this evening, that I would like for the transparency to occur on the selection of this Charter Review Committee, and that I had voluntarily asked others if they would comment regarding whether or not at any time did they have an employment relationship with the individuals on this appointment committee, as well as either a donor to their campaign or a relative of some sort. And heard from a number of individuals, heard from the mayor, heard from Council President and Council Pro Tem, and heard from Mr. Snitsky, did not hear from others. And I wish all of us to make this declaration voluntarily and without reservation, in order that it can be shown that we are moving forward with no entanglements, and that the result will have credibility at the end of the process.
Any further comments?
I can state for the record, I have no entanglements with any of these individuals.
I do not have any entanglements with any of these people either. Don't even really know them. So.
Madam President, I have no conflicts or entanglements with anybody on there.
Thank you, Councilman. I myself have no conflicts or entanglements or campaign contributions.
As I stated before, neither do I.
I'm unable to confirm or deny. After approximately 20 years, I'll be voting present.
Okay. Roll call.
Delaquilla,
Present.
Elliott,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Curriasis,
Yes.
Koyu,
Yes.
Martin,
No.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Council Clerk, do we have any communications, petitions, or claims?
There are none tonight.
Thank you. Council is now open to the audience for legislation only. Okay, no comments. We're going to move on to our ordinances. Ordinance number 2-2020.
Madam President,
Councilman.
at this time I move that council suspends the rules under the charter and reads ordinance number 2-2020 by title only for its first and final reading, declaring an emergency. The purpose of the emergency is to make sure that we don't suffer a lapse in the delivery of petroleum products and fuel to the city.
Second.
Roll call.
Delaquilla,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Curriasis.
Yes.
Koyu,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Ordinance number 2, 2020, introduced by Mayor Biassiata and councilpersons Kelly, Elliott, Koyu, Curriasis, Martin, Snitsky, and Delaquilla. An ordinance to appropriate an additional sum of $3,872.35 payable to Great Lakes Petroleum of Cleveland, Ohio, for a change order to ordinance number 169, 2018, passed by council January 14th, 2019, which authorized an initial amount of $30,000 for the purchase of ultra-low sulfur diesel premium fuel for the period of January 1st through December 31st, 2019, and declaring an emergency.
Is there a further motion?
Madam President,
Council,
I move that council passes ordinance 2-2020.
I second.
roll call?
Delaquila?
Yes?
Elliott?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Curriasis?
Yes.
Koyu?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Ordinance 2-2020 has passed. Moving on to ordinance 3-2020.
Madam President,
Councilman,
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read ordinance number 3-2020 for its first and final reading.
I'll second the motion.
roll call?
Delaquila?
Yes.
Elliott?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Curriasis?
Yes.
Koyu?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Ordinance number 3, 2020, introduced by Mayor Biassiata and councilpersons Kelly, Elliott, Koyu, Curriasis, Martin, Snitsky, and Delaquila. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into an agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio, with Richard L. Bowen and Associates Incorporated of Cleveland, Ohio, in an amount not to exceed $30,000 for professional services provided for plan reviews and inspections for ordinance number 38, 2018, for the year 2020 and declaring an emergency.
Any comments? The reason for this emergency is so our engineering staff, it's for timing, so they can get paid. Is there a further motion?
Madam President,
Councilman,
I move that we pass ordinance 3-2020.
Second the motion.
roll call?
Delaquila?
Yes.
Elliott?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Curriasis?
Yes.
Koyu?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Ordinance 3-2020 has passed. Moving on to ordinance 4-2020.
Madam President,
Councilman,
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read ordinance 4-2020 by title only for its first and final reading, declaring emergency.
Second.
roll call?
Delaquila?
Yes.
Elliott?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Curriasis?
Yes.
Koyu?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Ordinance number 4, 2020, introduced by Mayor Biassiata, councilpersons Kelly, Elliott, Koyu, Curriasis, Martin, Snitsky, and Delaquila. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a memorandum of agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills, Ohio, with James J. Zupka, CPA Incorporated, 5240 East 98th Street, Garfield Heights, Ohio, for the purpose of performing professional accounting services, which includes, but is not limited to, providing financial statements and the preparation of financial statements, IPA services, for the fiscal periods ending December 31st, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023, appropriating a sum not to exceed $99,300 for said services and declaring an emergency.
Any comment?
Madam President,
Mayor,
I'd just like to state for the record, because this may be not obvious from the agenda item. What this particular item is the State of Ohio audit. The city is required to have an audit by the State of Ohio every year. The State of Ohio awards this contract by a bid, and the State of Ohio awarded the annual audit for the period of January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2023 to James G. Zupka. So this contract was awarded to perform our audit work on behalf of the State of Ohio, and it carries us through December 31st, 2023. Thank you, Madam President.
thank you, Mayor. Do I have a further motion?
Madam President,
Councilman,
I move that we pass ordinance 4-2020.
Second.
roll call?
Delaquila?
Yes.
Elliott?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Curriasis?
Yes.
Koyu?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Snitsky?
Yes.
Ordinance 4-2020 has passed. Moving on to ordinance number 5-2020.
Madam President,
Councilman,
I move that we suspend the rules under the charter and read
ordinance number 5-2020 by title only for its first and final reading.
Second. Roll call?
Delacuilla?
Yes.
Elliott?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Curriasis?
Yes.
Koyu?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Ordinance number 5, 2020, introduced by Mayor Biassiata and councilpersons Kelly, Elliott, Koyu, Curriasis, Martin, Snitsky, and Delacuilla. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a 90-day extension of the existing one-year custom maintenance agreement on behalf of the city of Seven Hills with Bailey Communications Incorporated of North Ridgeville, Ohio, to provide IT technology management that will consist of, but not be limited to, an on-site engineer that will provide desktop server, network storage, network, wireless, firewall, and other miscellaneous project engineering support as needed by the city, authorizing $9,440.01 for said 90-day extension and declaring an emergency.
I'd like to state the reason for the emergency is for an extension. This is for our IT services, and the city needs these to function, so that's why the emergency is attached. Is there a further motion?
Madam President,
Councilman.
I move that we pass ordinance number 5-2020.
Second. Roll call?
Delacuilla?
Yes.
Elliott?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Curriasis?
Yes.
Koyu?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
Ordinance 5-2020 has passed. Council is now open to the audience. Okay, moving on. Reports and communications from the mayor/safety director.
Thank you, Madam President. Let's state for the record that I did answer the, earlier today we had the charter review people. The question was posed to me in the caucus room of the people nominated. Did any have any business dealings with any of them? Have any of them worked for the city? Have any of them worked for me in any of my various positions? And the answer to all those questions, to the best of my knowledge, no. Additional question was posed to me by Councilman Martin, who, if any, gave campaign contributions to me, and I did answer in the public meeting earlier that it definitely was Councilman Robel, definitely resident Martha Whitmer, and potentially Nino Soretti. I would also like to add to that list that potentially Nada Fleming, she is a supporter, but I do not remember seeing her at a meeting, but she could have sent in a check. In a mayoral campaign, the money raises in the thousands, and I cannot account for every dollar off the top of my head, but she is a supporter of mine. Now, that said, I asked council for nominations because I wanted to get a very diverse group, and what we did, I got somebody from every ward, I got many different professions, I got people in different points of their life to give us a very diverse representation, and I believe we accomplished that. And of the 4 people that potentially made campaign nominations, 2 of them were not my nominations. One was from a council person, Bob Robel, and the other, Nada Fleming, was from our council president. So that there certainly was anything, no, just mention this in transparency, and I don't want this in any way think that that influenced any decisions. So I just want to be transparent, because that's what we do here. Also, I want to give a finance update. Our year-to-date financials are posted to the city website for the whole city to see, transaction detail, everything. And I'm pleased to announce that last year we brought in, from a general fund perspective, $617,000 more than we spent. That brings our general fund balance up to approximately $6.4 million, and that's from December 31st, 2017, cash balance, also on the website. We were at a little over $3 million. So last year's performance took us up to 6.4 from a general fund perspective. Thank you to all of you present here today. Last but not least, if anyone's looking at non-general funds, you've seen some wide movement there because we put out a lot of non-general funds for Hemlock and the water main on Mapleview. So that money went out. Once the receipts come in, the grants that we received, you'll see in the 2020 budget that money coming back. So while you'll see a big fluctuation in non-general things that we can't really manage on a day-to-day basis, that money's coming back in the 2020 balance. So basically, from our day-to-day operations, once again, we had another $617,000 to our general fund balance because we spent less than we brought in. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Reports from our directors. Director of Law.
I have no report this evening.
Thank you. Director of Public Service and Properties.
No report, Madam President.
Thank you. Our city engineer.
No report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Our building commissioner.
No report, Madam.
Thank you. We'll start with miscellaneous comments. Councilman Kyriakis.
I want to thank Building Commissioner Hoop and Service Director Johnson. We were having a problem at a property over in Ward 1, and at the last council meeting, I talked to both of them on January 14th, and by January 17th, the problem was taken care of in 3 days. And I want to thank Jack for sending the street sweeper down there and taking care of the situation. And I want to thank Building Commissioner Hoop for meeting with the property owners and getting this problem fixed. Hopefully, we won't have any more problems with this property. Thanks again.
Councilman Martin.
Yeah, a couple items. First one, again, Mayor, thank you for your comments regarding the Charter Committee. That means we've heard from everybody now except for Councilman Dell and the Law Director. And again, I encourage both of you to provide those comments. I think it's absolutely necessary that there be no misunderstanding here. The other item I have for you is I have a question for Madam Chairman, if you don't mind. And that is, I'm assuming that when new employees are brought in for the city, that you receive some type of resume from the mayor to get an understanding of who it is. I know as a council member I don't, but have you received any resumes for either the pending fire chief or for the chief of staff?
No, I have not received any resumes. Whatever I receive, council is copied on everything.
Okay. And the reason I bring that up is because I'm a little concerned, a little confused, actually. I was asked as a council person to approve a budget increase for a position based upon a written job description that indicated the prospective employee chosen would have a Bachelor of Science degree and/or its equivalents, and I've not been able to find anything that would support that at this time. And I was looking for some help here of when I look at the person's websites and et cetera, I don't see that listed.
What position would you be referring to?
Chief of staff.
I have no information in regards to, the only information I have in regards to that position would be what was ever available online. As you know, council did create the position. We have no authority as to who the mayor decides to hire.
Yeah, I'm not asking for that. I was just asking for to determine if the minimum qualifications were met to make sure that the financial outlay was legitimate. So would this council have any recourse in the future if something may occur where someone is been representative to be one thing and it might be another? I mean, for anything we do in the future?
Are you asking if council has authority to check qualifications or remove someone if they're not qualified? What specifically are you asking for?
Since we lack an HR department for a third-party arm's length review, who's watching the watchers, I guess is my question. In other words, who can determine that that's a legitimate hire and that the background of the individual does meet what the intention of the job description indicates? In other words...
Right. I understand.
Okay.
Since we don't have an HR department, I would have to defer to the law director for clarification on that.
I'm sorry, I was preparing my comments to, if I had any conflict to any of the people, I was only half paying attention. Does this have to do with chief of staff?
Madam?
What Mr. Martin is What Councilman Martin is questioning is if there is an individual that is employed that may not be properly qualified, what would be the process, correct?
Yeah, A, who would make the determination about qualifications? And B, if found to be brought on and then not meet those qualifications under later discovery, how would the employee be treated?
For what particular position?
Well, specifically at this very moment, I have a question regarding chief of staff.
Okay.
Because that was advertised to me as being an individual with a written job description that I did see, and I did see the qualification. It was a justification for increasing the amount of monies to be expended for the position. And as such, it was indicated it would have a bachelor's degree and or its equivalent for the position.
Does it say that somewhere, Norm? Because
The job description I was last given to read did.
Madam President,
And if it doesn't, I would love to be corrected if it doesn't.
Madam President.
Mayor?
Off the top of my head, the position, it says, or related job experience. My question to the law director, by charter, who has the ultimate authority to hire and fire? And does council, what authority do they have to hire and fire on non-appointee positions? By charter. Is that a clear, direct question, Mr. Law Director?
well, let me say this about that. I think that if you appoint someone, council is supposed to confirm that appointment, and it would be up to them to evaluate whether the person met the qualification. If it's just a straight-up hire, it's in your purview to hire the person based on your review of the person's background.
So, in your opinion, would it be up to the mayor or another body to determine what is relative job experience?
I would think it would be up to you if it's your appointment.
Or a hire? Appointment would go to council like we did
Appointment
today.
goes to council, hire is in your discretion.
Okay, and then I would have a further question. Council President, do we have any idea how this current chief of staff meets the job description?
I do not. I have no knowledge of her skill set, degree. I don't know. All I know is what I've seen online. I do believe, though, that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Law Director, if we should have access to resumes or employee files or what have you, if so requested. I'm sure sensitive information may be redacted, but I'm not certain on that. That would have to be confirmed by you,
Whether the resume is available to you?
or whatever information you're looking for, Norm.
Yeah, I'm from Missouri. Show me that they've been employed. Show me that they've been employed in a position relative to this in some manner, whether it's business, et cetera, but not a volunteer stuff. Show me the degree or its equivalent. A 4-year degree for those who hold 4-year degrees is a big deal. It's not something to take lightly. It's not something you can just take some seminars and have the equivalency, just in this day and age. It's a difficult task. It's an expensive task. And so if that is truly a qualification, then it should be met. If it's not necessary to be that qualification, then the job description should have been rewritten and eliminated, but it probably wouldn't have justified the higher wage for the position. So I don't know anything other than what I know, and that's from what I read online, and I see nothing that supports anything that supports the job description.
Mayor, would you be able to send council a copy of your chief's resume?
The
please?
authority to hire and fire lies solely with the mayor. If somebody wishes to make a public record request, they may. And all documents that the city has can be handed over. But it is not council's job to evaluate whether or not the employee meets standards, particularly when you have something, a relative work experience. The results will speak for themselves. If council is unhappy, they can make a move to repeal it. But I'm sure that would be met with, I promise you it'll be met with resistance from the administration because things are going excellent right now. From a long period of time, I've had a number of complaints from city functions. They've been nil. Matter of fact, I've only received one from a councilman. No people have reached out. Things have been excellent from that standpoint in terms of city operations. So the results will speak for themselves. If anyone wants to make a public record request, then we will comply as the law states. But the authority is clear, and this is why we have a separation of powers and why we have one mayor and not 7 or 8.
Madam President.
Councilman?
Yeah, that's why we do have checks and balances. And the checks in this particular case, we're the ones who authorize it being written. And if it doesn't meet the standard that it should be to write a check, then it should not be written. And maybe you do have a good idea that that resolution should be rescinded based upon that and the job description rewritten. Because you did indicate to us that you needed an increase in salary in order to justify the position, in order to get this qualification, and within that qualification was a bachelor's degree and equivalent experience. And until you show me that that exists, it would be council's best interest to rescind and retry again. If you need, there's other ways of going about this. You could have had 5 individuals. I don't want to play mayor, but just for a moment I will. I mean, for the amount that we're expending in the 2 positions, we could have had 5 part-timers and really had great service. But that's the way you want to go. I support that. And I supported the job description very clearly, that I thought it was wonderful. We'd get somebody with some firepower and some in here that is a pure demonstration of that. But I don't see it yet, and I need to be shown.
Well, Madam President, may I respond? He's making
Mayor.
comments directly to me. Well, hasn't even been 1 month the person's been in the position. I ask you give it time. We have one new position in city, so this stuff's being blown out. And the net of the 1 new position and the 1 redefined is $55,000. No increase in benefits, same amount of benefits being paid out. So we have a total amount of dollars invested in the mayor's office of 111. There's many mayors of a city the size of 12,000 where that's just the mayor's salary. I submitted to council a budget that spends less than we bring in by millions earlier this week. So any notion of misspending is not relevant. I think there's a misunderstanding. Needing a high-powered person in this position, in the chief position, is important, and I believe this person is. And once again, the results will speak for themselves. We have weekly meetings with staff. We've applied for 3 state capital projects: North Park, Calvin Park, Cricket Park. And we've done this in 1 month on the job. In addition, we applied for a grant for the county. In addition, in the next council meeting, I'm going to be bringing something, the city's going to sign up for something, the Heritage Home Foundation. We're taking Seven Hills in a different and new and great direction, and you need people that I have confidence in. These are my people, and ultimately, their performance will reflect on me. So I need to have the people in there that I feel are loyal, that I feel understand a political environment, and those that have experience in political are more valuable for all the reasons I just stated than having someone with a Bachelor of Science degree. They're able to pick up a phone and call a state senator, call the county executive. People that come out of a teaching profession with a Bachelor of Science degree don't have those connections. So there's so much value that if people, that does not show up on a resume. And ultimately, I'll be the one to answer to the people. And I think the city's headed in a great direction. And everything I just talked about, the weekly meetings, 3 requests for state capital, 1 grant, the Heritage Home Foundation, which will allow residents of Seven Hills to get low-price home equity loans, all happen in less than 1 month on the job. So the hiring, firing lies with the mayor. I understand you may not feel the person's qualified, but at the end of the day, I believe it's my sole decision. And I agree, if council does want to repeal, that's council's decision, and I won't stand in the way.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to be clear, Mayor, the resume you cannot forward to Councilman Martin, is that correct?
If a public request is made, I will forward any and all documentation we have in regards to that role.
Councilman Martin, you have to make a public records request, so if you would like that information.
I'm
Is there any-
speechless, absolutely speechless, but I guess I will speak. I cannot believe that you're that defensive and it comes to a situation like this. Either they're qualified or they're not, Mayor. So, I mean, if you can't pass it on, I will make a public record request. And I'm good at that.
Anything else, Mr. Martin?
No, I would look at each council person to look at their own purpose of being here. And it's about checks and balances. And if you just want to be pushed and shoved, continue doing what we're doing and get pushed and shoved. But it's time to slow the process down to get what the public's paying for.
Councilman Snitsky?
Okay. First off, I want to make clear that I said I don't have any entanglements with any of these people. That doesn't necessarily mean that some of them have not made some minimal contributions to any of my campaigns. I just don't perceive that there's any entanglements involved there that preclude them from from serving for the city. One miscellaneous comment I want to make, in all of your mailboxes, you should have received an updated pavement condition report from the engineer. I bring that up because, you know, we're at that time of year where if and when we're going to do anything about roads this year, it's time to think about it. We got budget coming up in the next couple weeks. I'd like to see some road work done this year. I know there's discussion about whether we should or we shouldn't. The next grouping of roads would be those that are rated as 6 on the last PCR report. And I'd like to take a look at possibly doing those roads this year, if possible, following Randy's program of doing the roads, the worst roads. But other than that, I would take a look at the PCR. It's in your files. It should be. I had the engineer put them in there for you. Other than that, have a nice night.
Councilman Delaquilla?
Not at this time.
Councilman Coolio?
Nothing at this time.
Councilman Elliott?
Madam President,
Councilman?
I'm going to respond to Councilman Martin's one statement about fire chief position. I believe you made a comment about, has anyone seen his resume? I did. The mayor had called me and asked me to sit in on the last interview to help him make a decision on it. I did look it over. The mayor was extremely transparent, gave me a rundown of what he did prior to. I support his decision for fire chief, and I support his decision for chief of staff. At the end of the day, like he said, it's his responsibility. If she fails, he fails. And I don't know her personally, but I'm going to trust the mayor's judgment on this one. So, thank you.
Thank you. The only comment I have at this time is in response to Councilman Snitsky and his proposed roads program. I did not get a chance to see the handout from Dan. So I didn't see that yet, but I did look at the road study that we did a while ago. And if I remember correctly, there's 15 streets rated as a number 6. Now, that may differ from Dan's report. I have not seen it, like I said.
That's about right.
You know, and if you want to tackle those 15 streets, that's a lot of money. I don't think it's even realistic. Karen itself is $347,000. Meadow Lane itself is $380-some thousand. And we were advised by a guy who handles the financial bonds and lending and this and that, and he said, do not take out loans for roads. He said that in front of all of us. We took out money for this last roads program, and I cannot entertain a roads program this year. I'm only one of 7 people, but that's my opinion. I just can't see doing it. It's going to be too costly. The roads are rated 1 through 10, 1 being the worst. We knocked out roads pretty much 1 through 5, and then 6 through 10. 6 is the worst. It's going to be hard to justify borrowing that kind of money or spending money before we get it.
If I may,
Madam President,
well, let me go first, Tony, if I could. Well, go ahead, please.
I'll wait to be acknowledged. I don't have to go.
No, go
Mayor,
ahead.
I think the budget submitted to council earlier this week did not include road resurfacing, but of course it included road maintenance and crack sealing, because there's always a road program. During the budget hearings, and in my first month in office, I anticipated to share with council my proposal for the next 4 years for roads. And I remembered from the last road program, Councilman Martin said he's a pay-as-you-go kind of guy. And I came up with a plan that will cover all the 6s within the next 4 years. And the first batch of roads would not be this year. It would be next year, and it would include Karen. So not this year, but next year. And it would be paid for. There's a $400,000 balance in the road fund today. We are estimating $700,000 from the state of Ohio from the new gas tax, and another $700,000 in gas tax for 2021. You put that together, and we have a $2.5 million road program without borrowing, and that'll take us from the worst street on the list all the way through Karen. And then that would be my proposal for 2021. In 2023, I have a similarly fully funded by cash plan to do the remainder of the 6s and I think maybe one of the 7s. So we'll get us through all the worst streets within the next 4 years without borrowing any more money, and I'll present this on February 4th. So if everybody can just hold till then.
All right, thank you very much, if I may.
thank you for clarifying.
If I may,
I'm not opposed to saying no, just not now. But I think that's a great plan, Mayor.
Yeah,
And I have all the data to share
Yeah.
with all council.
That's wonderful. Basically, my only point is that if we're going to do anything, that time to think about it is pretty much so in the next month or two. And I appreciate that, the mayor giving me that information. That's basically, I was not looking to try to borrow to do these. I felt that based upon the numbers that he said, that there was probably some funding available without necessarily going out to borrow, and he's answered it thoroughly, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Any other miscellaneous comments from council? Law Director?
Regarding the charter review appointments, Nino Ceriti has once or twice in the last 20 years bought a ticket to my doing. He doesn't support me. He likes the food that I serve at the doing. It's Dan Yazy's, and that's how I get such a big crowd, because they come for the food. I have nothing further.
If there's no further comment, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Delacqua?
Yes.
Elliott?
Point of
Yes.
order. Councilwoman, is there an executive session?
Mayor, did you still want to have an executive session?
Mine can wait.
Mine can wait as well. But thank you for calling. Roll call, please.
Delacuilla,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Curriasis,
Yes.
Koyu,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Snitsky.
Yes.
We're adjourned. 8:37.
Probably does, seem like we've been here for 3 hours.